What's good, everybody? We are here with the latest statistics for the South Surrey and White Rock neighborhood for the month of October. So we just came off the heels of September, and it was a very, very interesting month. And I want to tell you a little bit anecdotally about what we're starting to notice. We're starting to notice the lower end of the market. So when I say the lower end of the market, I mean like condominiums, entry level type properties. We're starting to notice those pick up in activity, and not by a little bit, by quite a bit. It seems to be a lot of maybe first time home buyers kind of maybe coming back to the market. I don't know what it necessarily is, but it's a very interesting thing that's happening right now because that is certainly the domino that knocks down other dominoes in the market. Now, we've been coming off of months of very, 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 very slow real estate, like some historically slow real estate. And I'm going to show you a little bit about that in today's kind of presentation here. But it's really interesting to think of what happens when those first time buyers start coming back into the market. And we'll have to see if that is reflected in the sales coming forward. I just went through an experience where we had three offers on a condominium of ours that we had for sale, and the people that ended up winning in that multiple offer, can't tell you what it sold for yet, but the people that ended up winning in that multiple offer where they actually got the unit, this was the fourth time they went into multiple offers in terms of looking for a condominium. So if things are priced right, they are certainly still moving. So anyways, let's keep an eye on that, but let's get into the numbers right now and see exactly what's going on. So as a reminder, the home price index, that's what we're using to track what's happening with prices in this area. It's kind of like inflation for homes, and it's really measuring the typical home, not your home, not a home in this specific neighborhood with these characteristics. It's what's called the typical home. Think of it a little bit like the average, and that'll really help you, but it's kind of like inflation for homes. Is it going up, down? What's really happening? So the slide that we're looking at here, this is just really, if you go to the very right, it shows you just the gap between new listings that are actually on the market versus the amount of sales that are actually happening. So sales is represented by that little red bar, and the new listings is represented by that really tall, long blue bar. But that's for the Fraser Valley as a whole. To give you an idea of what all property types across the greater Vancouver region, which is represented by the red line here, as well as the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board, which is represented by the blue line at the bottom there. That's generally what's been happening with prices since the spring of 2025. You can see the slow decline there of what's been happening. So to get a little more local now, what's going on with condominiums? Well, condominiums, you can see an uptick month over month in terms of the activity. Now, it wasn't really big. It went from roughly about 11% month over month to about 12% month over month. That's 12% of the inventory actually transacting. Now, we'll take it. I mean, that is an increase in the amount of activity, and that can be based on a couple things. You can see increases in activity because you have maybe less properties that have come to the market that month, or you can have more buyers actually removing the inventory from the market in that particular month. So it's not a huge increase, but it is a good sign of the market, and very, very interesting because look what that led to. Well, we also saw prices for condominiums bump up ever so slightly in the month of September. Now, what actually happened? Well, month over month, it was about a $4,500 gain for condominiums in the neighborhood. So, if you somebody who was waiting to see what would happen with prices over the month of September, it cost you about $4,500. Now, year over year, condos are down about $53,000 in the area of South Surrey and White Rock. So, that's kind of where the market has led, and you can see that obviously with the graph I kind of showed you what's been happening since the spring. So, right now, based on the inventory and what's available, the market is still in the advantage of buyers. I mean, it did go up a little bit in price, as I just showed you, but this is a very good market still to be looking because you got tons of choice on the market. There's still not a lot of properties transacting. Generally speaking, it's really about roughly about 1 out of 8 that come to the market are actually transacting. So that's good for a home buyer. They still got choice. Days on market are still good for a home buyer in the favor of them. And we'll have to see what happens with prices because very interesting that prices ticked up month over month. Now, affordability is still it's here. Like we haven't had affordability in a very, very long time, and it is here. So I think even anecdotally, the story I was telling earlier, I think people are really starting to realize that hey, rates came down. We had the rates come down a couple of weeks back from the Bank of Canada. Rates have come down, prices have come down. Is it maybe time? Is it time to jump in the market? We've talked lots about new construction being stalled. So if you're kind of curious about that, there's a lot of information on the YouTube channel. You can check that out. And we did post a video about what both sellers and buyers are going to get wrong in 2026. If you didn't have a chance to check those out, make sure you check those out on the channel as well, because there's some really good advice in there for home sellers that are struggling to sell. And also for home buyers that have been sitting on the fence. It's not a video to coerce anybody into doing anything. Certainly, that's not the case, but it certainly is going to give you some things to think about if you've been kind of holding on to real estate or considering doing something with real estate in, maybe in 2026. So let's move into townhomes now. What we've got going on with townhomes. So the sales to active ratio dropped month over month. You can see it has gone below the 10% mark. And we know, based on, following these videos and whatnot, the red line being the balance market where there's no real benefit to either party, you can see that it's gotten further away from that. And that's had a result in prices in the townhome market. Townhomes are pretty difficult right now in South Surrey and White Rock. Great time to be a buyer, a little more difficult time to be a seller if you're not staying in the market, if you're not participating in buying something after you sell. So, what's going on with townhomes? Well, they're down about $14,000 month over month. Some neighborhoods are experiencing this a little worse than others. As an example, the Grandview neighborhood is quite a difficult market to sell a townhome in right now, and there's lots and lots of inventory available. Year over year, they're down about $58,000. And of course, as you would expect, that means the advantage for this market is definitely in the buyer's favor. Prices have gone down. We don't necessarily know when that is going to stop, but certainly it's a good thing if there's somebody that's looking to buy, because you can take advantage of all the stuff that's on the market right now. Now, I've said again and again, I do believe this will be the market of movement because it's got that balance of space and affordability. But you definitely want to keep an eye on the condo market, because if that market starts to improve and those condos are transacting, therefore people looking to maybe upgrade their space, spend a little bit more money, get something a little bit different, maybe something that is offered in a townhome that's not offered in a condominium. You got to watch that condo market, because that is a leading indicator of what's going to happen with the townhome market. With that being said, let's get into detached. But right before I do that, I do want to let you know that we have really been making a big, big push on two other media platforms that are going to be available for you to check out in the description of this video. So certainly one is our Instagram and the German Group Instagram channel. We are publishing a ton of local information for South Surrey and White Rock, tons of statistics, tons of local video, tons of community type posts that are going to explore maybe places you haven't visited, things to do in White Rock, news about what's going on in White Rock. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. There's a lot of great stuff on there, and there's a lot of content that is not being posted on our YouTube channel that's going specifically on the Instagram channel. The other thing I'll mention as well is for some of our longer form videos, if you enjoy the longer form videos, but maybe you don't have the time to sit around and watch them all the time, you're going to want to check out our podcast, Real Estate on Tap, where we put a lot of our kind of big thinking real estate conversations or videos on there. So if it's more to do with kind of BC real estate or kind of our our drinks on tap type videos that we do each month, kind of breaking down what's going on, you can listen to those on there rather than watch them on this YouTube channel. So wanted to make sure you knew about that. Okay, let's talk about detached homes. So you can see the big thick red line here. The big thick red line, as we know, is because detached homes have been struggling so badly that has really been stretched out, that bounce market activity. Now, we did see a little bit of an uptick from roughly about a 5% sales to active ratio up to about a 7% sales to active ratio. So a little bit of an improvement there. And hey, we'll take it. That's coming out of a really, really bad spot, because prices for detached homes have been really, really challenged in South Surrey and White Rock in the last few months, really since the spring. So month over month, they're down about $17,600. And year over year, look at this, a whopping $156,000 for the typical home in South Surrey and White Rock. So you're a smart viewer of this channel, you know that that is definitely in the advantage of the buyers. There is so much to choose from. You should go to bat on whatever you want in South Surrey and White Rock, and you should put those offers out there and see what sellers are willing to take. Because there's, of course, those who are interested in selling, but there's also those that are committed to selling, and those are the ones you're looking for if you're looking to scoop a really good deal right now. So, lots and lots of opportunity out there for a home buyer. We did a video on the YouTube channel too, that 2026 video. We talked a lot about hopium not being a strategy. Hoping that things will get better is not a strategy to sell your home right now. So if you're somebody that is in the arena where you actually need to get it done, you got to be very in tune with not only what's happening in the market, but also having a sound strategy to get it transacted, because so few properties are transacting in terms of detached homes in the South Surrey market right now. Prices are going to remain challenged. Now, we did see a little bit of an uptick in activity, but that's certainly nothing to write home about or get excited about. It's going to take a while for this market to start to swing a little bit. So that, doesn't necessarily mean prices are going to keep going down. We might see them start to flatten. However, there's nothing suggesting that that's necessarily going to happen based on what I'm seeing right now. So, like I said, put your offers out there. Now, what drives the market? What do we want to watch out for, whether we're a home buyer or a home seller? Well, of course, mortgage rates. We do have more rate cut announcements before the end of the year, and we just got one a couple weeks ago, so definitely keep your eye on that. I mean, the news seems to change regarding that sort of stuff every 3 or 4 days, right? So you never really know until the actual announcement itself gets made. But there's a lot of people kind of projecting that we likely will get another rate cut before the end of the year. So certainly stay tuned to this channel or the Instagram channel, and we will let you know if that is the case. Economic shifts, who knows what's going on with the US trade deal. We know that our prime minister is on his way down to Washington to go speak with the president down there, I think next week. So we'll have to see what comes out of that. But I don't foresee anything with that on the horizon as of right now, because it's been so long and nothing's been done as far as we know, or nothing's really changed, I guess is a better way of saying it, but we'll have to see. We do know demand is there. There's been a lot of articles coming out in the newspaper recently just about the incredible amount of demand that's out there. Buyers really sitting on the sidelines, and uh, it's arguable that opportunities are the best they've been in a really, really long time for a home buyer. But, naturally, there's lots of them out there that are thinking that prices might be cheaper tomorrow, so why buy today? That is not proven to be true for condominiums in the example that I showed you in today's video. So, anyways, we know there's lots of demand out there, and it's just those people actually getting involved in the market is really what's waiting to happen at this point. Seasonal trends, we are entering our second busiest time of the year, typically or historically, I would say. So look for more sales to start hitting the board on October, November, and maybe even December. We're coming out of some pretty nasty months in terms of what's been happening. There's my cell phone going. We're coming out of some pretty nasty months just in terms of what's been happening with sales volume and all that sort of stuff. So keep an eye on that, because we are getting into that busy season. And local policy changes. Now, there actually has been a few things going on with local policy changes. I'm not going to get into this today's video, though. You're going to have to subscribe to the YouTube channel to check all those out. Hey, listen, thanks for watching this. If you have any questions or need anything, don't hesitate to book a time to speak with me in the description below this video. And don't forget to check out both the Instagram channel and the podcast. And we'll see you on the next video next month. Thanks for watching.